Welcome you all to another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. Thank you very much for being here, or another amazing episode. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what to tell you. What's going on? We need to have a talk. Go ahead and subscribe. You're already here. We appreciate it very much. So many options, billions of options, yet you chose to be here today, and possibly for our special guests. But for the meantime, subscribe to the channel. Today, we have an amazing episode, a very, very amazing, talented person. And I'm not just saying it just because, it's because I really feel that's the case. We have a singer, rapper, songwriter, dancer, actress, blogger, performed for Lil Flip and all over Texas, San Diego too. Born in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico, Valeria, a.k.a. Valeria de la Paz.
There you go. Yes, sir.
Hi.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it.
Yes, I wanted to come.
You're not even from the area here. You're in College Station, correct?
College Station, about 2.5 hours away.
Thank you.
Yeah.
2.5 hours away. She drove over here. I appreciate it very much.
If I did it,
a lot.
you could do it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. If y'all are 4 hours away, come through. Holler. Well, please ask politely. Don't be in the talking about you need to be
Don't come in. Hey.
Don't come in my DMs talking about you need to be here. Be polite. Just like the way she reached out to Carlos, because it wasn't even us. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with a segment that I like to call Preguntas al Chile. If you have not subscribed yet, do it so you can check out the graphics Carlos put together for this segment. ¿Estás lista? Are you ready?
Sí. ¿En español o en inglés?
We do it in English.
Okay.
You can do, we can do Spanglish. We can switch it up every so often. Tacos o tortas?
Tacos.
Corn tortillas or flour tortillas?
Corn.
Gorditas o sopes?
Oh. Sopes.
Sopes. Mexican coca or jarrito?
Mexican coca.
Agua de horchata, Jamaica or tamarindo?
Jamaica.
Jamaica. Team Jamaica. All day.
Period.
Salsa verde, salsa roja?
Roja.
Menudo or pozole?
Menudo.
Churros or flan?
Or what?
Churros or flan?
Oh, flan.
Flan. Okay. Valentina, Tapatio, Cholula or Tabasco hot sauce?
I mean, I will say Tabasco, but what's the other one? Huichol.
Which one?
Huichol. I don't know if that's anywhere else, but in Mochis, that's all we do. Huichol, yeah.
I need to introduce myself to some of the
over here.
Here?
I've never seen it in my life.
So I have to go to Sinaloa to get that.
Or maybe Sonora.
Okay, so tell me what is the taste like?
Como like chile tatemado.
Uh-huh.
But like it's not too spicy.
Right.
It's just, and it gives kind of like I don't want to say barbecue, but it just gives kind of a
smoky flavor.
A smoky flavor. It's so good on everything.
Now you're going to put me on game. Let's see if I can find it.
Huichol.
Yeah, that's dope. That's badass. Okay, the conchitas, the brown ones, the white ones, or the pink ones? Conchita pastry bread.
Pink ones.
And what is a place, give me 3 places in the near future that you would like to see since you like to travel.
Oh, man. Maldives. I've been watching it on Instagram every day. Maldives, I think it's either like Caribbean. I'm pretty sure it's like Southern Caribbean. Right? I don't know. I just see it on Instagram. So Maldives, France, and then definitely want to go to Brazil.
Brazil?
Yeah.
I don't know about France, though. You might just be highly upset when you...
Really? They say it's dirty.
I don't think it's necessarily the place and the historical and the Eiffel Tower. It's more like the people. It kind of rude a little bit.
Really?
I passed by there, but I just needed to pass by.
But is it just with every tourist?
I think
or more with Americans? Because I heard they don't like Americans.
It might be just Americans. I don't know. But either way, I mean, hey, it's cool to see it, but just you've been warned. Okay, so a conspiracy theory that we heard one time that you said, like, man, that has to be true when you heard it.
Oh, man, I have so many. Conspiracy theory that I think is true. I think that there are higher people or people that are in higher power.
Right.
Who are disguised as, I don't want to say, I want to say like the older people of our generation
right,
keep, obtaining their way by influencing their family or close friends to maintain that power and keep the lower class of society.
Talking about like the Rothschilds and stuff like that, like
Kinda.
on generational power.
Yeah,
you know,
and they won't give it up no matter how much we try.
To do with the governments or anything. They're just there.
It's above the government too. Yeah.
I believe that. I always feel that if it's not the bankers, the ones that actually run the money and the central bank or the Federal Reserve, it has to be somebody above them.
Yeah.
That runs it.
And who is it?
Yeah. Okay, so you have so many theories. Conspiracy theories. Give me another one.
Oh man, what's the other one? I don't want to get into religion. Can I get into religion? Okay.
Cause you're like be controversial a little bit, and I'm all about it.
And I respect everybody's beliefs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that kind of irks me is when people really believe that the Bible is what it is, and they don't believe that a man wrote it. You know, like it's not written.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't want to say like, because I don't know either. But a lot of people like to state that it's true, and that's just the way it is. And I'm a very open-minded person.
I get that part too. I'm not a big fan of the individuals that use it as that,
right,
to make it seem like it's what it is.
Exactly.
And give it their own interpretation to manipulate people. Mm-hmm. To think that their God is the one based on what they read.
Exactly.
But my God is not agreeing to what you're.
Exactly. You know, he's telling me. And that's okay. It's like, you got what you're doing.
Not to them. Mm-hmm. To them would be like, it has to be my way or the highway.
Or F you.
Exactly.
Like, I'm like, all right.
What you mean? My God is not agreeing with that. He's a peaceful guy, and he wouldn't say that. Thank you very much. Okay, so when you hear the word Latino, mm-hmm, or Latina or Latinx, what first comes to mind?
Latino for me means an individual who's, I don't want to say openly cultured, but I feel like the Latinos that I grew up with or that I associate myself with feel very like empathetic towards people. Like I feel like when I grew up around, my people, they took everybody in. We're the type of people that, care about everybody else. They take into consideration different cultures, and they're not picky. I mean, if they don't like you, they don't like you. I'm talking about Latinos.
So it's a lot more welcoming.
Yeah, definitely more welcoming.
But at the same time, straightforward if they don't feel like they don't need to be messing with you.
Yep.
Yeah. And do you mind if people call you Latina? Do you prefer to be Mexicana because you were actually born in Mexico?
Latina's fine. I mean, whenever they ask me, like, where are you from? I'll say Mexico. But I feel like Latino has been generalized to everybody. Yeah. A lot of people don't like that, though.
Yeah, there's people that don't like it. They feel this colonizer term. They rather just not associate with the term because it's been pushed upon us just like religion, too. Mm-hmm. So they rather just not use it. There's people that get offended. Often we get comments about the same thing. Like,
right.
I'm like, okay, guy, I got it.
Like, I'm sorry.
All bad. I know you don't like it.
We speak Spanish, we look the same.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so before we get to the questions that I had, I want to talk to you about the heart. When did you come to? When did you start using it, and what came to mind to try to use it? What happened?
I think the first time I used it, I was doing a show in the Bay in San Francisco. It was a World of Tour dance. I was with my ex group, and for some reason, like I looked really good that day, I saw like a dance team that had like not teardrops, but some type of like drawing on their face. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I just tried it on. I was like, let me just go in the dressing room. I put it on real quick. And I kid you not, that was like probably the best show I've ever done in my life. Really? Like just with the confidence that I had, like the serenity that I had within myself. It was just, all right, I'm just going to kill it. I'm going to do what I do. And after that, every time I just perform or like do my music videos, I just put it on. Or this.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah.
Perfect heart, by the way.
Really?
Oh, is that perfect?
I mean, I try.
Like you tattooed it on. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's dope. So it gives you, it's kind of like you said, like your superhero type of maybe like your uniform that gives you, like for you, the feeling of like, man, that day it went great for me. And ever since it's just.
Yeah, it's like the cherry on top, like that fills up my like ego. Not ego, but like my alter ego. Like,
yeah, alter ego. Plus, I mean, again, it's your trademark because I haven't seen nobody use it. I mean, there's tattoo faces. I don't know if you want to
and I love tattoos, but I feel like, if I tat it and then I put makeup on, it's gonna fade. So, and then with this, I could change the freaking heart. I could do a lightning bolt. Our things like lightning bolts, yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Cute couple of tattoos. The boyfriend's here, by the way. Y'all seen him on the blogs. If y'all follow her blogs, make sure y'all go subscribe to her channel as well. Okay, so here we go. At 6 years old, you made your way here with your mom from Sinaloa.
Yes.
Did she ever tell you the reason why y'all came to San Diego? That's where y'all first landed at.
Yeah. So what her story has been was the violence was getting really bad. This was back in, 2006, 2007.
Right.
And it didn't necessarily have to do with, the whole cartel and all that stuff. It was just the stuff going on in Mexico with the president that we had at the time.
Yeah.
So, and my mom had always wanted to move to the U.S. because my tia is in San Diego still. So, first she brought me to San Diego for like a visit, on a visa, and we went back to Mexico. I was still in kindergarten, and she's like, "Hey, do you like San Diego?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I don't mind." And by this time in kindergarten, I used to like always cry in the mornings because I never wanted to leave my mom.
Really?
I know, it's so weird. Like every single morning.
I used to cry too.
No, like mom used to stay an hour with me the whole morning until I was fine.
Wow.
And then I was like, "Yeah, we can move." So then we made the move at 6 years old, and yeah, she just put me into an all-English school. I didn't know no English. And I think that's what really helped me because we were looking at, bilingual schools. And we actually took a tour in one of them. It was in Chula Vista. I don't know the name, but...
So there were kids were todo messed
Todo
up.
mucho. My mom got so scared. She's like, Valeria, no. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to have to throw you in an all-English school. I'll help you. You're going to talk all English in school and all Spanish at home. Wow. And I think that really helped my articulation, my accent, because like you hear, I know a bunch of my friends, old peers, that their English and Spanish are just not, they can't read Spanish, they can't speak it right, and then with English they just don't pay attention to it. Like it's so weird.
And too, like I was the same way. Like, but kids were mean.
Yeah.
For me, whenever, especially the Latino, the Mexican kids, they used to
make a fun.
Yeah,
like bro,
bastards. Like we're in the same team. And I don't know where it came from, because we're in ESL together. They're like bros.
What was that test we had to take?
I don't even know. I can't remember what test but I know that them bastards, shout out to y'all, but they were mean. I'm like, dudes, we're in ESL. Like,
what are they doing now?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, can y'all help me? And they used to make fun of it because I couldn't say the words, because when you're 11 years old, at least the Spanish is pretty strong. And then trying to bend your tongue and make it do things they've never done before, try to talk. It's just like cat. Had difficulty saying cat when I was in. They would make fun of you. I'm like, bastards. That's okay, though. Did you run into some of that stuff?
I did.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk shit. But I mean, like, it's like what I said. Like, what are they doing now? Like, y'all used to bully me. And I'll say this. Like, I never had a big bully. Like, I cannot say that I was bullied, because I wasn't. Like, I used to have girls, like, just discriminate and be like, no, you can't play with us. But I wouldn't call it like bullying, because they weren't hurting me. It was just like, damn. Now that I think about it, it's like,
yeah, they're more just mean kids that have no manners. But there was no bully either. I would get my butt whooped before I get punked or that. But it wasn't appreciated when we were growing up.
Yeah,
and being young and trying to learn the language.
And then I couldn't even fight, because like I got in fights, but if I got in a fight, my mom would whoop my ass. So like I couldn't.
Yeah.
If I got suspended, if I got in trouble, she would whoop my ass. So
really,
I stayed away from the trouble.
That's true too. Yeah. So that after, was it just you and your mom's? Mm-hmm. Was your dad didn't come, or?
Dad has never been in the picture. Yeah, he's actually a whole different story. We could get into it later.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
If you're okay, if you feel like it will help somebody else, that it was only you and your mom and it didn't matter, then you can share a little bit. If not, then we can move on.
I mean, I think I will share it, because like as of lately, he has been trying to come back into my life.
Gotcha. Because
he has seen the movement, the process, the progress of myself. And it's just, what I would like to say is, if you are in that same situation where your dad has never been in the picture and you feel some type of, not so much anger, but some type of entitlement to not talk to him, that's totally fine. I mean, like, what do you owe him? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I actually, like, probably like a couple months ago, I actually wrote him a big letter expressing how I've been feeling over the past few years. And that, like, really helped me. Like, I never thought, because I always thought that I would do it in person, and I probably will someday. But that whole spiel of, like, you did this, you did that, this is how I feel, it, like, liberated me in some type of way, and I feel like now I can talk about it.
Yeah, that's dope.
So it's really good.
I hope it does help somebody. And again, you're right. I mean, I wouldn't know because my dad has always been in the picture and my mom. But at the same time, like, if your dad wasn't around, I would see why you would feel like you don't have to let him in if you don't want to. And if he does, since you left without, then there's going to be conditions because now I'm a grown person. Like,
exactly.
how do you want to approach coming in?
Yep.
I mean, you can't just jump in all the way into my life like that because you took off and I wasn't around. I didn't know. Like, you know.
And the gag was that he, like, hit me up on some, like, oh, you should be on this video with me. You should. I'm like, oh boy.
What do you mean?
Because he does music. He was a lead singer in the Mariachi Vargas in Jalisco.
Yeah.
This was years ago, I think. And, you know, he's doing his solo thing, I believe. But I don't know how that's going. And he sees our videos. He sees my music. And I'm pretty sure he didn't think that I would go into music because of him. And now that he sees that I did, he's like, oh, I gave her that, or I gave her that talent. You know, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. That's my...
No, it's a good, it's a way to look at it, to all of a sudden just out of the blue come and just because you got it to... Do you think there was any influence from his part as far as you growing up 6 years old in Mexico that you might have seen something that might inspire you?
I would say the talent, like the voice. My mom can sing, but he has a freaking voice. Like, I'll give him that. He is a talented human being. And I never really grew up watching him or idolizing him or my mom showing me videos. Like, she never talked bad about him. That's one thing I appreciate her about her.
You can make your own decisions without an influence.
She just told me. She told me since a young age, because I met him when I was 6 years old for the first time, and the way our interaction was super weird. Like, he was treating me like I was 2. I'm like, Mom, I don't like this man. Like,
wait, what are you talking?
So after that happened,
hola, viva la vida chiquita.
No, literally, he was like, ay, mi niña tan bonita. I'm like, I'm a
6 years
whole 6 years old, dude. I'm like, I know the whole vocabulary. But that happened, and then after that, there was just some discrepancies that were, you know, I asked him for stuff, and he used to block me. Yeah, it was crazy. So, I never really grew up watching his music. I had his disc, and it's a very, like, you know, original type of cover songs.
How do you come about the disc? Who gave it to you?
My mom had it.
Your mom had it.
Yeah, so she showed me that, and then as of recently, that's when he, like, started following me on everything, and I'm like, oh shit, like, look at this, like, you're really trying to, like, talk to me. And he did. He messaged me. He had his sisters contact me and all this stuff, and I was just like, no, first he had his sisters try to contact me, and I was like, he can't do it himself. Like, I don't have him blocked. Like, I know he watches my stories. I see him right there. So he did. And that's when I let the whole paragraph out. So
that's cool. I appreciate you sharing that, because I don't doubt there's some other person, little girl, young girl, whatever the case might be, they followed you for years. They know who you are. You know your story. They might not realize that that's something maybe they're going through and how to address it. But that's pretty cool. I appreciate it. So you were very involved. Even at 3 years old, your mom would record you. You want her to record you performing different acts, different artists. We're talking about Obesiete, Christina Aguilera, Banda el Recodo, all that. And later on, you going to high school, you were doing sports. What kind of sports were you into? And dancing?
Yeah, so I played volleyball from 8th grade to about, like, sophomore year. And then I got into track. I did, like, high jump, long jump. Did I do triple jump? I don't know. And then I did, like, the 100, 200 miles. So I was really into track, like, sophomore year, junior year. And then junior year, I joined the dance team and then became dance captain senior year with, like, 2 other girls. And, like, we had barely started the dance team, like, the high school. So it was, like, they're much better now because they have better coaches, but it felt really good, like, just to be a part of something that was created, because it was just cheerleading and then sports. There was no dance team. So that was that. And then after high school, that's when I was like, I just want to keep dancing and singing. Like, that's all I want to do. So.
And then there was Young Rich. Was that right? Is that his name?
Rich.
What was the gentleman, the one that took you to the studio?
Yes. Young Rich. Shout out Young Rich, homie.
See, I did my homework.
And there you go.
Okay,
I
so
was like, how you know Young Rich?
Telling you, y'all be surprised why y'all be saying in interviews and people be listening. I'm like, okay. And so how did you find him? How y'all connected?
He went to my high school. He's a few years older than me.
So y'all were in high school together. That's how y'all met.
Yep.
You knew he did music, or you didn't know, or
I didn't. Well, he was barely starting out because, like I said, he's a few years older than me. I don't know how many, but as soon as I graduated, I had him on my Snapchat, and I saw that he was like putting out music on SoundCloud. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my God, this white boy's pretty good. Like, he's like Mexican and white, but I don't think people took him seriously in high school, and now they do because he's popping. So when I saw that, I was like, yo, like, let me come through. And he was like, yeah, like, I don't think he has the same studio anymore, but he like didn't charge me. He was like, yeah, bro, like, just go in there, spit. Like, he's the type of person that doesn't give a fuck what anybody says. So like the confidence that he radiates when he teaches you just helped me a lot.
Yeah. So you went in there, you might have not got a little faded, or judgment might have been clouded. What did he wanted you to do as far as the song? Did you want to sing?
He wanted me to do a hook, a singing hook. I didn't really like it because we were using autotune, and I'm not the person that uses autotune. I hate it. I'll put it on after when, I hear and there's a little bad notes.
Sprinkle it in there a little bit just to give it.
But I know a lot of rappers these days, they just go full autotune mode.
They go T-Pain mode all the way.
Yeah, and their ears are kind of like, used to that. Mm-hmm. And I can't. So it was like a little trial. It was just for fun, the little hook thing that we did. I think I still have it somewhere.
Was that out? Did he put it out anywhere?
No, we didn't put nothing.
No, I'm saying he never put it out.
I don't think
just
so.
Record it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So looking back on those 20-something snaps that you have, was there anything that you see that be like, it was just pretty good, or I like, when you were either, I don't know if you were freestyling or singing.
I did.
Did you go back and look at them?
I do have a freestyle that I've been trying to record because I just did it on my phone.
Yeah.
And I was like probably like 18 when I did that. So yeah, it's called, I don't even know what it's called. Oh, I remember. So I saw that a guy used the same beat and they put out some bullshit on YouTube with the same beat. I was like, bro, I'm not doing this no more. Like, he just ruined it for me. Yeah. But I might one of these days.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so after that lesson, that session happened, he let you in. Was there like a musical bug that hit you? I was like, man, I can't get enough of this. I got to find a way to continue to do this.
I fell in love with recording for sure because I had never really been in a studio. I did choir and we sang in front of people, but
it's not the same as recording yourself, but listening to
and then
track.
like the terms, the studio terms that you use, like, oh, punch me in or do this loop. I don't know. It was just fun. And, kids, they make it fun with the alcohol and the, but it's really easy to get like stuck in that way where you just go in the studio and you're drunk.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'm going to just drink a little bit, see how I feel. But then one time I got high, like I couldn't even talk and I hated it. I was like, bro, I'm never smoking again before I fucking go in the studio. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all do it.
So you decided to take it more serious.
Yeah.
And then just began recording with him, or did you find a place for you?
After that, I think we kind of went our separate ways just because I don't know what I was doing. Like, he was doing his own thing. I was still living with my mom. And then a few months later, that's when I actually found the group, the ex-girl group that I was...
So actually after that session, really, there was really not a lot of recording going on?
Not a lot. It was just kind of like my introduction to, recording.
Okay. And when was it that you have the talk with your mom about letting you do this instead of maybe focusing on school? Was it before the group or shortly after you had joined the group?
I think it was before the group because I was never the type to want to go to college, ever. My mom went to college. She has a bachelor's in like tourism or something, like communications. And she was like, honestly, like, she was the one that told me I'm not doing what I graduated in. Yeah. Like, and if you want to do it, I support you 100%. Like, we'll figure it out. But if you want to be an artist, you want to, be in fashion, because I love fashion too. Like, I wanted to design clothes and stuff. You don't need college, really. you know. So school was never really an option in my mind. I think after like right before the group thing happened, I told my mom, I was like, I want to be an artist. Like, I don't know what type of music I want to do, but I want to be an artist. And literally, I kind of manifested it, and then the group came.
All right, so let's get into the group part. So you were part of, let me see if I get the name right, because I want to say it all the way, like I did my research. Freedom, ATKD, a.k.a. Freedom, Kaleidoscope, and Kaleidoscope Dream.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't believe you know that. What the...
Do I know that?
Kristen gonna be happy. She came up with that.
Of course I know that. Okay, so how is it that they found you? How was it that you find them? And how did they knew that you were doing something? I know there was some kind of tryouts, so there was tryouts for it, right?
Yes. So I think my mom made the connection with my ex-manager through some type of network. I don't know how they met.
What was the name of the gentleman? Is it Keith?
Keith.
Keith. Okay.
Keith Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Keith. I don't really talk to him anymore, but shout out to him.
If you don't want to talk, if you feel so comfortable, that's cool.
I've talked about
You
this.
like controversial topics, so I figured, like, you know.
No, so they met, my mom and him met, and my mom was asking him, she was like, what do you do? And he was like, oh, I'm a manager, I'm a talent scout. And my mom was like, oh, my daughter's an artist, she's a singer. He was like, oh yeah, come have her try out for like, we need a fourth girl in the group. And so I did. It was me against like 3 or 4 other girls. But they were looking for a Latina one. We were trying to do like a white girl, Asian girl, black girl, Latina girl, which was a great concept in my mind.
I like it too.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we could have had something, but just the way it all came about, we didn't have no foundation. And I think that's why it just...
Let's backtrack a little bit before we get to that point. So you do the thing, the rehearsal, the tryouts, you knock it out the park.
Yeah.
Because you're already ready for it. You've been doing dancing.
Yeah.
You got the vocals already.
Yeah.
You know,
the only thing I didn't really know was kind of harmonize with their voices. That was really hard for me. But literally within 2 weeks of just me being with them, I kind of just picked it up. It's an ear thing. Like, you got to hear a note, and then you just got to play, not be afraid to play with it, and then you find the harmony.
And then shortly after you're already performing, they give you the news, you made it.
I make it.
They want you in.
And then 2 weeks later, we're performing at the House of Blues.
So you signed a contract, 1 year contract at that time?
It was a 3-year contract.
3-year contract. Yeah. So a 3-year contract you signed with them, and then is it a label?
No. So that's the tricky part. It wasn't anything. It was just like a contract within the group with the manager. So I was pretty much signing kind of my rights in a way to him. Like, he had control of like the managing aspect of me solo, and then the managing aspect of the group. He was the owner of the group. So final call was to him, you know, and technically that's not really supposed to, I mean, it can, but if you really think about it, the artist is the person that hires the manager.
Yep.
You know, it's not the other way around. So that's when I kind of realized, I was like, after I signed, I'm like, shit, because I didn't read it. I didn't read the contract.
You were young.
Yeah. My mom didn't read it either. Right.
I mean, you had your hopes and dreams and everything.
And it looked good. I'm not going to say it was bad because I gained so much from it. It was just like, I didn't read it. And then, you know, I didn't really ask questions. That was my thing too.
Yeah. So the group already formed. Did you ever had a discussion about why they come up with the name Freedom and the additional part, the ATKD?
So the ATKD was for it's the initials of the girl's name. So A for Ayla. T was for TK. She left like as soon as I joined.
Because all the videos I've seen is only 3 of y'all.
Right. So TK was the black girl. She left. She had a medical reason though. And then K is for Kristen. And then D was for the girl that I replaced. But they kept the D because my middle name's De La Paz with a D.
Yeah.
So we just kind of kept it.
Just kept it the same way. And then at y'all's peak, y'all had about a good almost 3-year run. Y'all were doing performing all over the country. World of Dance. Y'all were hitting pretty big places. Y'all were in radio interviews, all kinds of interviews that y'all was doing at that time. But you were not talking a lot doing that.
I was not.
Yeah.
I was just,
noticed
it was kind of like I was stuck. You know, like I wanted to speak my mind, but at the same time, they didn't agree with me. So I was like kind of like still in my shell. I was observing. I was like absorbing everything. But I was like, I don't want to talk.
So could you say you were just kind of sort of just like getting game as far as the way that you're supposed to be doing it? Because you never really done interviews. I don't know if they were, but if they were trained with interviews. But
yeah, I think like they were a little bit. I was just kind of like, if they ask me, I'm going to talk. But I was kind of like the loudmouth of the group. So if I would be the type to say something out of pocket. They were like, nah, Ayla needs to talk. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, because you felt like it was going to mess up the image as far as like cookie cut, nice, clean cut girls. And they don't want somebody to say something that is like.
Or like cussing. And I get it. Because we were on the commercial pop lane of, you know, because we weren't really promoting like the ratchetness. We were just a pop group, R&B pop group. So I get it. But I will say like I learned a lot.
Okay, so tell me some of the biggest lessons you learned doing that now is helping you do the things that you're doing with your music. Because we get into your music here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But what are the bigger lessons you learned?
One thing that we used to do a lot was practice every single day, like 3 hours. And I was never used to that. Like, I practicing sports or practicing dance, yeah. But this was like a full-time job. Like, luckily at the time I didn't have a job. I was still with my mom. So it was like every day, 6 to 9, full rehearsal. Like, we would go through a 30-minute set, full out, like, performance. So I think lesson number one was consistency and just practice with whatever you got going on. 2, how to just be confident in, like, what I look like. Because, like, especially when you're up there with 2 other girls, you know, as a girl, I know I'm not the only one that you're just thinking like, oh shit, she looks better than me, or she's doing this better than me, or like, not in a jealousy way, but like, you got to make sure you guys look cohesive. So kind of being aware of your surroundings while on stage kind of helped a lot because I had the 2 girls. So if I was in the middle, I had to make sure she was like 2 feet away and she was 2 feet away. Sometimes she would be 2, she would be 1. So it would look off, you know? So kind of learning the stage and learning my surroundings as far as like where I'm going to move, who's going to look at me, how do I look at this person, like.
I appreciate the honesty about the checking each other out, girls, because y'all be doing that.
Yeah, and not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way, but at the same time, y'all be looking at each other, how y'all function.
And that's another thing, like, especially with our generation nowadays, everything is so like, oh, fuck that bitch, or like, I look better than her, you know? And that's something that I had to get my mind out of, because at the end of the day, I'm with these girls every day. These are my sisters, low key. So I learned to just really like make myself look good and make them look good, you know? So it was never a competition, and that's something that I really appreciate learning, that it gave me a better perspective on women, you know, sisterhood type of thing.
Yeah. Okay, so you had that run closely about pandemic time. Is that kind of sort of mess you up a lot?
Pandemic, that's when it broke.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's because y'all weren't able to. Were y'all getting compensated? Were y'all getting paid? No payment whatsoever. Nothing. It was just exposure, a lot of exposure. Because we're on radio, there's different videos.
It was exposure, but I don't think it was beneficial exposure, if that makes sense.
Why is that?
It wasn't building a fan base. It was just putting it out there just to be out there. But we weren't marketing. We weren't targeting the audience. Like, it was just...
Again, you have original music.
Yeah.
Do mostly covers.
Like, I was the one pushing, hey, we need to start writing music. We need to start writing music. We need our own shit. And they were like, okay, but when we're doing events, people need to know the songs. I was like, yeah, but we need to write music. So that was another...
Y'all could have sandwiched in a known song with one of y'all's song, maybe just the beginning, and then with another song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get them familiarized with your sound.
Yep.
And it didn't happen. And that's also because of the management part. They were not put in the studio.
He did agree with that, but he never really pushed it. And the other 2 girls weren't as forthcoming with that. Like, I was pretty much the one writing songs at one point. So I was like, bro, what am I doing?
So what was the vision for the manager that y'all wanted to be? I know he wanted a girl group, and there was no other girl group, and he seems like there was an opening for it. Yeah, I even got Mr. Knowles when he wrote his book. Yeah, we're kind of sort of joining to try to tie those things together so people would give you eyes. But did you ever ask the vision? What we want to do?
That was the disconnect. That's why we got into it. I mean, because I was like, hey, what are we? Like, what do we stand for? And I think that was something that us girls had to do within ourselves to be like, okay, this is who Ayla is. This is who Kristen is. This is who I am. Therefore, we are freedom.
Thank you very much for checking out this episode. Make sure you hit the subscribe notification bell. And now back to the podcast.
You know, and that's something that I was like, me and my mom and I were, you know, like drilling on Keith. We were like, dude, we have to do this. Like, I don't care how long it takes. We have to do this. If not, we're just going to be fake.
Yeah.
Like, you say we're a phenomenal, sexy, talented girl group, multiracial, or what's it called? Multiracial girl group. But like, what is it? Like, we're not giving anything to people except our pretty faces.
Yeah.
You know, so I think there was no vision, and that's the problem.
One of the interviews you had mentioned something about you were kind of brainwashed or manipulated or something along those lines as far as what they were telling you, as far as what they were selling you, but it wasn't lining up with what y'all was doing. What were the things that you were hearing that maybe it made you realize, oh yeah, I'm either getting played or they're not being honest with me as far as where we're going with this?
I think it was that the goal was to get a record label to sign us. And it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if a record label wants to talk to me, go ahead. But I think it was more on the side of, I don't want to use the word grooming, but we were kind of being led in a way that somebody else thought was the way. And like, we honestly just never saw results. So anytime we would do something that was supposed to be the big thing, we weren't getting anything out of it. We were like, okay, and then what? And, you know, and it was something that was supposed to be like giving us results. So like the World of Dance Tour, we should have got, I don't know, not money, but just good exposure. And I don't think we did.
Were you coming out of pocket to make it to those places, or was that manager taking care of that?
I think some were out of pocket, pay to play type of things, but we didn't know anything about it. That's another thing. We were kind of left in the shadow when it came to business side.
Yeah. And when did it start kind of creeping up those thoughts about like something's not right here? Because we're not moving anywhere. We're doing stuff, but we're not really moving anywhere. And it's like running on snow.
Well, we had a few like, oh, we're going to meet with this investor like 3 times. Never once happened. Like after the second time, I'm like, all right, bro, like, where's this investor? Like, can we see his face or something? And it was kind of like the little dangly ball that they were like putting in our faces, like, oh, this is happening.
The carrot on the stick.
Yeah.
Just keep chasing it.
So.
Yeah. So what was the breaking point? What exactly just made everybody just stop? Of course, a pandemic, but then what else? What happened? Was there an event? Were the girls feeling the same way?
So I think the breaking point was that right when 2020 hit, the 2 other girls' contracts terminated. Like, it was over. And I was still in contract. And our manager was like, do you guys want to re-sign? And they were both like, no. So then I'm like, okay, like, am I just here by myself? And pretty much that was that. And then I couldn't, I tried to do my solo stuff and he just wouldn't let me.
Yeah. I think you right as far as what you did, as far as the training that you had, because it was training as far as the performance, the acting, the confidence.
Yeah.
You can't be like this if your other girls are like this type of look. You know, you have to make sure that y'all good. And it shows on your videos now.
Yeah.
Anytime I see a video of yours, the dancing, the moving is all there. So it's pretty cool. It sucks it didn't work out for y'all, right?
Yeah.
But it's great that that happened and then you were able to now use for what you're doing now, right? So let's go ahead and fast forward now. 2021, September, you drop Plan B. That's your very first song that you ever dropped?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
By myself.
By yourself?
Yeah.
How did that process come to be? How did that song, when did you write it? So your process is interesting to me, right?
Yeah.
So you either listen to a beat. I don't know if you have a main producer, you go to YouTube Beats, and then after that, either you come up with the lyrics or you harmonize something. And then from then you begin the process of making a song. Is that how it goes?
Yeah. So usually anytime I want to write a song, I now have producers sending me beat packages, which is great. But probably a few years ago, I used to just go on YouTube, listen to it, and just start humming melody passes.
Yeah.
And record through my voice recorder, and then go back and put words. You know, so I anytime I hear it, just a plain beat, I'm just kind of, it's like a freestyle but without words, just melodies.
And And that's how and when did that come to be? When did you realize that that was your process of making? I know you had mentioned something regarding
Probably
9 years old. 17 years?
Well, 9 years old, I wrote my first corrido.
You wrote your first corrido. Do you remember still a little bit of it? Okay, can you tell us? Come on with it.
Oh my God. Okay, ready? Chief Canario asesinado por el gran Casandro. Tiri, 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 tiri. Por lo que lo mataron. Por ser el gran cazador. It was like literally just that. And my mom heard me like, because she was like, what are you talking about at 9 years old? And she like recorded me and was like, this is going to be like a time stone type of thing. Like, So yeah, once I did that, but I did that through a cartoon. Like it was a song that was playing on a cartoon, and I was just hearing the song, and then I like made a whole nother melody on top of that song, and then that's when she was like, "Holy shit! Like, what did you just do?"
And then at 17, fast forward, then you start realizing that's just a way for you to create music.
It's easy. Like it comes to me very easily. I just have to hear a song or any type of instrument, and it flows.
Start coming alive.
Yeah.
Okay. So far you've been working on an EP. Yeah, I've been working on an EP for some time, but have you realized that times have been changing? We talked earlier about staying consistent with social media, posting often, because otherwise people forget. You can't go too long without taking a break. I know you have talked about wanting to do an album, but you feel like maybe you need to give them a taste more of you.
Yeah.
So you've been releasing singles, even though you didn't want to do singles all the way, and you've been working on the EP. Have you started realizing that maybe the EP is the way to go instead of the full album, or do you still want to do singles and keep focusing on singles for right now?
For right now, I believe singles, just because like it's what people gravitate to. Like, I saw this thing that Russ, I don't know if you know who Russ is. Yeah. He said that if nobody really knows you, no one's going to sit down and listen to a 16
I heard
song
the same
album.
video that you're talking about.
And like, nothing wrong with that, but it's like they're not going to listen to it. All that hard work you just put into it, like, it's just going to go down the drain, at least for the next few years. So that really inspired me to just kind of, okay, he's right. I got all these good songs. I can market each song really good. And then that kind of just builds up my sound, my personality towards the fans.
Gotcha.
And that's been kind of working.
So how many was he talking about releasing whenever he was talking about? Was it one a week or once a month or once
He was doing like one a week.
One a week, right?
On SoundCloud.
On SoundCloud.
Which is like, you don't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're focusing on how often do you want to release?
So far, we've been doing one every month.
One every month.
Yeah.
So right now, how many singles do you have total? I know you got Plan B, Queso was one of the other ones.
Plan B and Queso, Lockup.
Lockup is great. I love the melody. I love the way that you flow.
Problems on the table.
The way that you deliver that. Where did that come from?
I don't know.
It's dope.
We was in the studio and I just did it, and I'm like, because I told the guy, Marcus Black, shout out Marcus.
Sounds Caribbean.
Yes. No, the whole beat, when I heard the beat, I was like, I love it. I love it. I love it. And then I just wanted to talk about sex, but not too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of just leave all the problems. I figured it out. I don't know. I was just playing with my voice and it came out dope.
I like it. Sounds Caribbean.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So Queso, Lockup. And then we did an EP of 3 songs.
Okay. And what was the name of the EP?
Shaded.
Shaded. Yeah. And the songs in that Shaded what?
That's Intro, Jefa, and Fria.
I like intro.
You like intro?
Because you do it often whenever you start a show.
Yeah.
So I like that. And then after that, then the next one?
After that, we did, what was it? Was it Envidiosa? Was it Envidiosa? Pretty sure it was Envidiosa. Because that was in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Envidiosa, Bum Bum. And then recently we just dropped Lane Switch.
Okay, Lane Switch, cool. I like the hip hop. I like the rawness. I like the homie that's in the, he's really good. Flow, great. Let's backtrack one for the bonbon reggaetonish type vibe. Mm-hmm. What made you make that change, that switch up?
I love reggaeton. Mm-hmm. As of right now, all the songs that I have lined up are mostly reggaeton, because I just feel like the beats that I choose kind of make people happy, and it makes me happy. So I just know, like, whenever I'm like doing it, I can see the people's reactions. So, definitely, like with Envidiosa, I think that was my switch to reggaeton, like full on, and people just loved it.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of my family down there, they were like, damn, it's just like, it was full Spanish. It was, I think, my first song with it was just full Spanish. And they were like, we really like this, so keep going.
Yeah.
And then boom, boom, we did half English, half Spanish.
Yeah. The Spanglish you think is pretty cool as far as here in this. Well, it doesn't work in Mexico because some of them might not.
But they listen
But
to
they
it.
listen to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, do you know who you are now and what is your sound going to be? Because I know you like on reggaeton, cumbia, hip hop, R&B. You started with R&B and hip hop-ish, but now you transition into it.
Yeah.
Are you wanting to add those elements for the reggaeton, but still show that you're Mexicana? Maybe speak a little bit.
So
in there?
one thing we have been experimenting, I've been working with this group down in College Station. They're called División del Sur, and they're puro norteño, like regional, like. And they were just, I went to their house and they were just jamming, and they were like, bro, just sing. And I started singing, and it was full regional. And I'm like, my voice sounds really good. Like, maybe because I was born to sing banda or something. I don't know what it is, because I have that tangy voice. But I want to experiment with, like, regional.
This is where it's at right now. That's
Yeah.
Luma.
Yeah, I don't want to go too far in it, because at the end of the day, it's not what I love. Like, I love listening to it, but it's not something that I'm passionate about. I would like to sprinkle into it and see how that goes. But, yeah.
I mean, think about it. If you ask me what kind of music I like as a Mexicano, being born in Mexico, I like hip hop, I like R&B, I like reggaeton, I like regional, and like, I even classical stuff.
Exactly.
If I ask you the same thing, you go down the line of things that you like.
Yeah.
Like for us, we enjoy every single type.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that we can listen to Spanish music and English music or a mix of both. And it's okay because that's what we like. So it's pretty cool that you experimented, because at the end of the day, it doesn't define you that that's who you are, because we love all that stuff.
Exactly.
We can go from a reggaeton to Peso Pluma did the regional, Bella, and then he goes to Bebé, and then he's doing the dembow.
Exactly.
And now he has another one with, I believe it's Frontera.
Yeah.
Just like that, because he has the voice for it, and we love all that stuff. We enjoy it. That's the advantage that we have
People were
over
talking
everybody.
shit, though. They were like, no puede cantar. I'm like, leave the boy alone.
Who cares?
All right. Like,
It doesn't matter anymore, because at the end of the day, it's the song that people like. If he doesn't sing or not, who cares? There's a lot of other ones that agree that he has, for whatever reason, they like his voice. Same thing with Bad Bunny. A lot of criticism, this and that, and like, but dude, he's banking, laughing all the way to the bank, because there's a lot of people. There's a lot more people that like him. There are a lot of people that are just a few people that are upset for whatever reason.
And that's what I was telling you. It's not really about the talent. It hasn't been for about 20 years now.
It's not.
Like, it's just personality. It's connects. It's
that catchy stuff.
Catchy. Even like, what's the word I'm trying to use? Like the Pound Town stuff. Have you heard that?
Which one's that? Enlighten me. Have you heard the one about the whistling?
What whistle?
That. You never heard of something like that? Oh my God.
Is it bad?
It's not bad. That's the crazy thing. When you first hear it, there's a guy, I forget where he's from, but he does a song. He does his, everywhere he's rhyming, instead of rhyming, he goes, shh, shh, shh. And they got it from, I think, California.
Interesting.
So he made a song, and it's doing very well for him, and he had a little wave for him. But it's not even words. It's just the sound.
Interesting.
So tell me about this pound thing you was talking about.
Well, no, I think it's just the words. Like, it literally says, my coochie pink, my booty hole brown. It's crazy. I know. What? I know. And I
it's a shock factor. That's what it is. It's a shock factor.
If it works for you, it works for you.
No, but I'm saying it's a shock factor, right?
Exactly.
Because you have to take it to how many things have artists have said already? They were like, oh, I can't believe he said that. And they raised the bar. And then the next person has to say something else to raise the bar. And where are we at now? Like, whatever is thinking.
Exactly, dude. Like, I don't know.
It's a shock factor. It is.
Like, I'm not sitting here telling you I'm scared and, oh, my God, this is the worst thing. No, but it's like, really, when we have amazing, like, singers that can just blow you away with their voices and they're not getting no light shone on them because we're listening to that, you know?
Why would it be? Why is that? That's another conspiracy.
That's another conspiracy.
And the production, some weird juju voodoo that they do. I'm telling you, because otherwise, why in the hell do we There has to be something within the production they do.
The people above. No, I'm kidding. They're
I
gonna
wouldn't
cancel me.
I wouldn't doubt it because, man. So you're going to go ahead and let's get back on topic. Sorry, but I like to go on tangents sometimes. So, regional. So you're going to experiment. You're going to try it out. Maybe put a couple projects out. Has that been a talk or a thought of yours yet, or not necessarily?
I've been on this role of just sitting down and recording myself do like little snippets of the stuff I have. Not so much releasing the song on all platforms, but just putting it out on like social media just to see how people like it. Because I have this one remix that I want to drop soon. Not a remix, but kind of like a sample beat of, I don't know if you know Tego Calderon.
Of course.
Yeah, the famous song of his, Pa que retrocen.
Yeah.
So I used that sample and I went off. So I want to put out the song, but I kind of want to do like a little teaser video of me just doing it to see how.
You're not... I have those thoughts. I actually have a song that dropped today. I do a little bit of music, but not like fully. I just want to get involved in the process to be able to relate to y'all more as far as punching in, ad-libs, and the recording production, right, and everything else. And how is it that you are able to move into the market, and how is it difficult? How hard is it for you to be able to, as an artist, be able to put a song, and what does it take? You know, I want to be able to do that, so I did that. But I've been able to like do the song and put it out and go through everything as far as the expense. And I want to know, how do y'all feel when y'all do that, as far as the song process, the marketing, things like that?
It's definitely been like an eye-opener because it's not easy.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to put out songs. It's easy to, but if you really want the song to go far, like, you just got to market it. And we've barely started doing that this year. Not so much because obviously we're not millionaires, so we don't have monies. So you just got to put in a little. I mean, if what's been working for me, I just toss in a little bit of money for this song, or I do this type of thing. Like, I got to go to do interviews. I got to do performance. I'm very big on performance. Like, I know a lot of artists that don't like performing. They've never even performed, but they have high numbers. And I'm just like, that's good. You're bringing in revenue, but at the end of the day, like, you need to connect with your fans. You need to, put yourself out there. But I think as far as like releasing music, it's a struggle for real. And I think all of this is happening so I can really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because when I know that when I do make it, like, I'm going to look back and be like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, I worked my ass off. Like, and I'm not even with my mom. Like, I'm full on. I have a full-time job and I do this like as on the side right now, but it's becoming more and more to the point where I can do it full-time.
Yeah.
So.
But I was trying to get at earlier because I was going off on it. It was the little tease that you do. Mm-hmm. For me, it would be like, what if somebody takes my little idea that I haven't put it in and like record it and have it register and do all the stuff in the back end?
Yeah.
And I was like, not mine no more. Somebody don't freaking ran off with my idea.
I think about that all the time too, but it's like,
I wanted to be sure to do it all the way, register everything, and then put a little, it's already ready and done. I just got to later on release it.
That is very true. And it happens. I even talked to this guy the other day. He's a songwriter in Hollywood. Yeah. He was like, songwriters in the industry, they will take your song and claim it as theirs. Yep. And I'm just like.
But strategy though, you already register everything, already done. You already know. But
but then you need money to sue them.
No. You register everything. You record a song, you put it everything, you put it on whatever you're gonna do. You're gonna release it in the future. But you have everything already registered, ASCAP and everything, all that is already done.
Yeah.
You put the video teasing that it's a song and see how it is.
Yeah.
But then you release the song already. Or if you see that's not doing anything, they just like, okay, we're going to pause on that one. So if so happen to be that it goes, it's already registered, it's already yours, it's already your work and everything. Just an idea.
Yes.
Because I don't like to, if I get something creative, I don't want those mother truckers.
Yeah.
I'm like, you mother truckers, man, that was mine. Now I can sue them because everything's mine. I have everything, you know what I mean? Yeah. That's just my paranoid mind.
That's still what we do too. I'm just like, I don't want this girl to freaking take these bars and, and it literally happens all the time. But I feel like if you're just stuck on that, because I used to be, then you're just letting time go. And it's like, why am I worried about Sonny Lou if she's going to take my song when I can just post it? And if push come to shove, I can be like, this bitch is copying me. And then that's more like, you know, attention on me. Like, it might be negative attention, but it's still going, I don't know.
It's publicity.
It's publicity.
But I want to get mine to where...
Yeah, it's a win-win. I don't even know, because I be thinking about it. I'm like, whatever, bro.
I want mine. Even the song that I had put out one song 2 months ago, and got about... I worked it. I've been working it. And it's got about 5,000 streams on Spotify. But it was my first song ever, and I found ways to where, in the back end, to be able to... Not paid for freaking robots, no bots. But enough to get it to playlists where it gets movement.
Yeah.
So this second song, I already know the formula to how is it going to be to where the algorithm, you have to activate the algorithm on Spotify to be able to get more plays.
And I did get a lot of, we actually dropped a song with, shout out Sham Black. We dropped Whoa, and that has like almost
5,000.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
I was like, oh my God. And I know he did like a whole marketing team behind it, but people actually like the song. Like, I was actually getting DMs saying like, bro, like, I just heard this from Sham, like, you did your shit. I'm like, oh, like, once you start getting recognition of people that don't even know you, you just feel like 100 times better. But yes, promote your songs, keep them in the vault, write them down.
Where's the marketing idea comes from? Because I know you had talked about it with Freedom. We're not doing enough marketing. I know your mom said that she might have a communications degree, and I know you're big on pushing it and promoting it. Tell us, what is your way for you to promote the song? What do you mean about promoting it all the time? And where's the idea of wanting to market and promote your songs come from? Because a lot of people missed out on that part.
Yeah, that was something I was not even like, it's something that artists don't think about, especially young artists. What I found that was most effective is sometimes a lot of artists like to promote their song like 2 weeks before. And when the song drops, like, everyone already heard most of it, and they're like, oh, I don't even want to click on it because I already know what it sounds like, right? So I found that I do like a teaser 2 or 1 day before the drop, and then on the drop, boom, I post it everywhere. And maybe 2 to 3, 5 days later, I still continue to post about it. And that's just on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. TikTok, not so much, because whatever.
Your shadow
I hate TikTok right now. I'm so mad. And so that's the social media aspect. We have been doing campaigns with like SoundCloud. I finally got in touch with like, actually not SoundCloud, sorry, Spotify. We got in touch with them recently, and they were able to be like, oh yeah, like, we as Spotify, the team, we can market you. You have to pay, and you have
marquees.
Yeah,
the marquees that you can get.
But that really helps a lot. I haven't really done it with Apple Music or any other things. Also, a lot of people don't know is you have to submit your songs to like
Spotify months before and pitch it.
That's
one of the things.
And what's the website called? Oh, it's like Base Media. Media Base.
Media Base, in order for ever to be registered for, if it's been on the radio or anywhere else it's been, then it is. SunTrust is another one. Yep. And Sound Exchange, all that stuff. And there's a lot of work.
Helps.
There's a lot of work. There's a lot of administrative work. That's why I understand why labels work. But
exactly,
if you do it all like that, if anybody wants to take you can prove. Not to mention, the reason why I did the way I did is because I want every penny.
Yep.
Even if it's, I already made 28 cents in 2 months. But guess what? I never made music. Yep. I made money off of music, even though if it's a little bit. But all these things are working for me to be able to collect everything that belongs to me.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't think about it. Nope. A lot of people want to put the song.
They just think about the number on the streams.
You know what? My strategy is different as far as promoting. I know that as much as people say they support or whatever and they're cool with me, they don't ride like that with me. They're not going to.
Nope.
So I can only maybe get a couple plays of people that really mess with me and put it out to show that something's new. And maybe it'll catch people's attention. But I'm focusing on the back end, on people that run playlists, pitch it to Spotify to be able to get them more playlists, activate the algorithm to be able to trigger. Because I know my people are only going to go so far.
Exactly.
But I know everybody else, there's strangers that don't even know you, that once it's on the playlist, it's going to continue to. That's how I got the 5,000 plays.
Amazing. Yeah.
And one song, my first song ever.
Dang. Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like, as much as I want to do this by myself, at the end of the day, like, we need a team.
Yep.
And like, I would love to have like personal, cool friends that I love as my team, because that way, you know, it's based on trust. It's based on like the same vision. And, you know, that's why record labels are a thing. And it's cool because I feel like once you get signed, all the pressure is lifted off of you, but now you're just a little freaking puppet. They tell you what to do. And to some extent, that's cool, sure, but
I don't think you're that type.
I used to be. That's what I'm saying. I was brainwashed into thinking, oh, shit, that's the way to go. This is what we have to do to get to that. And now I'm just like, imagine if I can be as big as the big artist, but it's all going to me. Like, I don't have to share it with nobody but myself.
Do you think it's a frustration of the years that you know you have friends, but they're not the type of friends that solely believe in your dream yet? The things that you know, the things that you have been seeing since you were a little bitty, when you told your mom when she was recording you at 3 to where you were making up corridos at 9 or 8 years old to now. Is it?
It just makes me so mad because my mom wanted me to switch schools. She was like, you're not going to see these friends when you grow up. I'm like, yes, I am. And now I don't talk to none of them. Yeah. And I'm like, I should have listened to her. And again, everything happens for a reason. I don't need to associate myself with them because first, something, we're not connected for a reason. Let's just keep it at that. So, it's frustrating because you thought that they would ride with you. You thought that they will support you no matter what. And now you're just like, But hey, that's life.
Yeah, that's life. Mm-hmm. Were they riding with you when you were with Freedom, making it
Not
big?
at all.
Not
I
at
think
all.
that's what kind of like, they took me as a joke kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Did it hurt? Because they were friends. Or they were so-called friends.
Well, I never really had like a bunch of friends. Like I probably had like 2 or 3. And one of them, I'll give her props. She was always there at my shows.
That's dope.
But, it kind of faded away, so.
It happens. I mean, at the same time, you're still young, but at the same time, with more age, time that passes, you realize there'll be less friends and more quality of friends or people that really mess with you at times that they really do care for what you're doing. You know what I mean? So I feel you on that team part. The administrative part is a lot, but it's so important as an artist to be able to get all those media base and all that stuff done.
Yeah.
That it doesn't even take that long to do it.
It's tedious. It's like,
it's tedious. But I understand why artists don't want to do that and be able to have a manager that does that and focus just on the music part. Yeah. But if you don't know what they're doing in the back end, and you don't know if they're screwing you for the things that should be.
And then when you ask them for the records, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't even have your masters. You don't have nothing. Everything's under their name. And you're getting paid for shows maybe, but all the back end stuff you're collecting, all those streams, you're not getting paid for it. So even though it's tedious, it's important to be able to learn. So that way, especially as an independent artist.
I also, if you are an artist out there, like, write it down. Like, I used to be like, everyone used to throw stuff at me, like, you have to register it here. You have to do the publishing. I'm like, it's overwhelming. I'm like, okay, yes, I get it. But I'm at home and I'm like, okay, I did one. And then I just close the computer. So I think
you have to force yourself.
Yeah.
To be in
so
there.
What I did is I grabbed a notebook. I wrote down every single website that I needed to go on.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to do this all in one day. I'm going to do 3 on one day, 3 on the other. And now it's kind of like a norm for every single song that I release. I do these checkpoints. Boom, the song's ready.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need to do the checklist. Even though I know it by heart now, I think from my first song, I learned the things that you needed to do. And now it's kind of like I kind of know. Yep. But a checklist is important.
Yep. I'm a very visual learner too. So I got a whole calendar in my house. Like, yeah. I write everything down.
Everything.
Yeah.
So you don't use your phone? You don't write stuff down on your phone?
I got to.
You rather just see it on the...
Yeah, I have to because on my phone I just get distracted. I'll go on Instagram and be like 3 hours later. not.
At least I'm not the only one. TikTok. Like, what are you doing? Like, oh, dang. I need to work on the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's dope that you are now. So are you going to be releasing songs regional for sure? Or you're still just dabbing?
I will for sure.
How close are you to wrapping one up? And with that group, or is it something different?
We have that one song ready, but I don't think it's just still in the works on that part. But I wrote one probably a few weeks ago, and I just got to go in the studio and record it.
Yeah. With them or
Just by
sipping?
myself.
By yourself? But what are you going to get the beat from for that? Is it regional still?
Yeah, it's like tololoche. It's like those same instruments. I could ask them to do it, but that's a whole another process. Or I could just get the beat off YouTube and license it.
Yeah.
So I got to see.
What about cumbia?
I need to do a cumbia. I need to find a band. Imagine if I find a band, bro, that
I got a
just...
producer. I know a producer here in the Dallas area that he did a beat for a person that was looking for a song. Crispy Yola, I can say his name. Crispy Yola is a producer here in Dallas. He made a beat for Crispy Lux that was cumbia. She wanted. I kind of sort of gave him what she needed. And
Is it dope?
She loved it.
Oh my God.
Plug
me.
I would actually reach out to her and say, like, are you going to use this song? Because I had an idea for a cumbia too.
Yeah.
I'm like, but then she liked this. So I'm like, okay, I need to think about another song. And I have the song in mind of what I want for cumbia. Because I want to do a cumbia song too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in the works, but I got to find the right. So that's why I want to find a band or a producer that really just here's what I got to input into the cumbia. Like, it could be a whole bop.
I can link you up with him, see if y'all can work something together. He's not super pricey, but if you want the full licensing and everything, steamed out and everything, then he'll take care of you. But he's really good as far as you give him what you want and he'll deliver.
Bet.
But it's up to you. I mean, I know there's YouTube people and everything, but I know the homie got this.
Hey, connections.
Okay. So are you going to do the EP another one, or are you still just going to keep focusing on the singles and experiment on sounds and things like that? And have you thought about, I know that you were mixing stuff up. I don't know if you wanted to create a new genre of sound.
Mm-hmm.
Was that something that you're still trying to dab on or not necessarily anymore?
I think as far as my voice, like the way I use my voice on songs is clear to me now, which was, like I said, I sometimes go in the studio and I just start, you got to do stuff like that. And now I'm at a point where I'm confident in what I can do. So as far as my voice, I have that sound clear, like that's listo. But music, I don't want to necessarily create a new genre, but I want to be able to be like with my music, like, okay, that's something Valeria would do. As far as
because there's a recognizable sound that people know it.
As far as the music, yeah, the voice is one thing, but the music, I feel like I got a little bit more experimenting to do to really be like, all right, that's what I need to do on every song. It can be a mixture of things, but that's the one little sprinkle that just makes you realize, okay, that's Valeria.
And where is it that you're recording it now? Is there a particular studio that you go to, that you use, or do you have a home studio maybe? Because I know you were editing one of your videos, so you get crafty with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're already involved in recording or you go to a place.
The plan is to have our own home studio, but right now we've been going with Vision Studios in College Station.
Nice.
Shout out Gus. He's amazing. That's the guy. He's trying to expand because he has his own home studio.
Yeah.
But he gets 10, 20 clients a day. So he stays busy. So he's amazing. He's a good guy. And we love working with him because he's just so genuine. He saw me one time. He was like, I believe in you. We're going to get a Grammy. So come work. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
I believe it too. You got the look. You have the voice. You have the confidence in the videos.
Thank you.
I don't doubt whatsoever. I'm not just saying it just because you're here. You're a guest of ours. It's because, I mean, you can see it. You can see it whenever you was doing with Freedom and the things that you've been through. So, I mean, if you keep at it, anybody can make
I'm blessing.
big things. No, anybody can make it. I know people are being nice whenever you're on a podcast because it's a thing to do. But there's certain things that you see when people are they done stuff, they work, and they go into a path, and then you see where they can go if they consistently keep at it. You know what I mean? So, it's just like obvious if you do that. Okay, so we're running a little bit short on time. However, you had some things that you wanted to talk about that you were important to you in regards to the immigration issues.
Yeah.
So, in regards to immigration issues, what do you feel as far as after all the abuse and everything that happens as far as in immigration? What do you think that immigrants that want to come to the U.S. or things like that? How do you feel that they should address coming to the U.S.?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an immigrant myself. I had to go through the whole, paperwork process and all that stuff. And I actually worked with an immigration attorney. I was a legal assistant for a while. And I learned so much. Like, it's different how you can see the other side of things, you know, because you have the media and the news, they tell you all these things, but when you're actually looking at what USCIS is doing, what type of stuff they look for when, you know, like in court, like the judges, the immigration judges, like it's crazy to see all those different things. And when you really think about it and the statistics of it, like if, you know, immigrants or anybody would just, this is my opinion, would just save enough money to try and get a visa instead of coming illegally, it's literally like a $10,000 to $20,000 difference of just money that you would spend. Because once you're in an immigration proceedings or you got to pay for a lawyer, it goes up the roof. And then you got to wait, you're banned for 5 to 10 years, you know, as an immigrant. So it's just, I feel like society and, you know, governments should, you know, kind of give awareness to the whole thing and give them options and be like, or schools, you know, be like, hey, you don't necessarily have to cross illegally. There's this option, you know, and I feel like that's not given to our people in schools because, you know, I know my cousins right now, they don't tell them anything. And they still have the idea of, oh, life is so much better here. We just got to cross it.
Let me debate you on that part because you like controversy. And let me give you another perspective.
Yeah.
As to I crossed illegally when I was 11 years old. My dad was here. He got sick. He brought my mom over, crossed illegally too. They got robbed. She made it fine. And then later on, my mom missed us, so we were brought illegally, you know, handed off to a stranger to cross over to pretend that you were their kids and then do that part. Like, my dad didn't have a business in Mexico or any type of funds to be able to present to the government to him be awarded a visa, even if he saved the money that he did, because he tried to grow crops and it didn't work out and he didn't have any money coming in, no jobs, so he had to leave illegally and crossed over.
Yeah.
The difficult part is to get the visa in Mexico if you don't have a business, if you don't have a certain things that you feel like you're not going to be working. You know, I don't know how you got here.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a visa or not.
Yeah.
But other people's things that they do in life and the way the life is, they don't have that option to get that visa. Even if I would have loved to have been a visa and crossed over, but unfortunately it wasn't the way that it needed to. And I'm pretty sure my dad would have saved more money if it would have been that way, but it wasn't an option because he couldn't even apply for it, even if he wanted to, in Mexico, in his homeland.
Yeah.
That's the reason why he did the things that he did.
Yeah.
You know?
That is
so I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. It's true. You're right. But for whatever reason, the Mexican government makes it a whole lot harder for you to get that. And they know that sometimes you're not willing to go back once you're here.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people in Mexico got to understand that it's not, you come to the U.S., you guarantee that if you don't work, you're not going to move anywhere.
Yep.
There's no, when I go to where I'm from, a lot of the times I don't see a lot of my people working a lot, you know, or they work very little, half a day, and they make it just fine.
Yep.
Not here.
Yep. Yep.
So there is two things, like, you know, it's not as peachy as they make it seem. Like, it is the land of opportunity if you work your butt off and you can make it. Like your mom took herself to school, put herself through school and did all that stuff, but other people don't have that option.
Yeah.
You know, so I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I see because of what I lived through, this is not the option sometimes for some of us.
Yeah. My thing is just awareness, you know, like.
That's the other thing.
Especially now, like now in age, like we have all these things that just tell us about everything. And, you know, that's something that I would like to use my platform for. Like, I can do it now. It's just, I got to be consistent. But I want to see our people grow. I want to see our people just be open-minded. I
can agree with you on that part, that they can start thinking different things than just not the same thing and be like this instead of seeing everything else and be right perspective of different things to open up their minds to different options and stuff like that. That we don't have to be working on factors or this or that, and then there's other options that you can do different, whatever you wanted to, you know. But a lot of the times we have to deal with traumas with
generational.
That stuff is real.
I get it.
That stuff is real.
It's so real.
Yeah, it is. That you sometimes, even if you don't understand why, you can't think that way. And it's frustrating for me why can't you see it that way? But at the same time, my life's been different. I've been proactively wanting to look into stuff about forgiveness, about, being motivated, about different things like that helped me change. But I can't force it on them. It doesn't grow within them. But it helps to keep telling them, to keep reminding them to maybe there's other options. You can do it. Go for it. Try it. Give it a try. How are you gonna know if you don't do it?
Exactly.
Then you're never gonna know. Anybody asks me like, what do you think? Like, hey, try it. See if it happens. Like, I can't tell you because I don't know. But if you give it a go and it's not gonna put you in harm, why not? Give it a go. See what happens. Maybe you find out you love it. Maybe you find out it's not for you. At least you gave it a go.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Okay. So enough with the lectures. So the other thing was, what is one of the most controversial topics that people give you a hard time and debate on? Because I know you like controversial things. What is the most pushback, debates, heated arguments that you get of certain things that you see as controversial, and people always want to come at you, whether it be on social media or real life?
Yeah, lately it's been what I've been seeing is like the whole the whole husband and wife situation. How a lot of females, I see it on Twitter, and most of the Twitter trolls are just talking out there. But like I've been seeing a bunch of ladies talking about, oh, if I'm making $300,000 a year, then I should be doing this, and my man should be buying me a ring. I feel like I love women. I'm a girl's girl, but I feel like, again, the generation has been putting us on a pedestal of entitlement when it comes to relationships, and that's why most of the relationships don't last nowadays. So definitely want to put awareness into girls being more open-minded, not being so closed on like, oh, I give him my body, he needs to buy me this and that. And I don't know if it's always been like that, like for years, because I'm used to the macho type of household, like dad go gets the money, wife is at home. And the whole, probably like from the 1970s when women really started going out to the workforce, they kind of changed their mentality into like, I don't know, I don't want to say it's a bad mentality, but it's definitely like entitled, and it can go very wrong, like.
So what is your take on it? Do you feel, first of all, y'all got duped. They only did it so they can collect double taxes on y'all. Jokes on y'all. Yeah. By the way, I don't know if y'all knew that.
I didn't know that.
No, it was. There's a reason why they allowed the women to be on the workforce, because there's more taxes coming in. Y'all can look it up if y'all want to, but it is.
See?
Double taxes. But what is your perspective as far as that? Do you feel that women should be at home? Do you feel that the macho thing should be a thing? Do you feel that equality, truly mutual respect for one another, support y'all's dreams, so whatever it is that y'all feel like?
I think it's the equality side of for me. Like I feel like women have taken it one-sided to the point where like one thing works for them but the other thing doesn't. So like, yeah, they want to be treated equal, but then they kind of want a little bit more. My thing is just equality. If you want to be treated like a queen that you are, don't belittle your partner. Just treat him with the same respect you want him to treat you with. And I've been seeing that a lot of girls my age are just not doing that. Not calling anybody out, because I see it especially with the big influencers, on Twitter or on Instagram, and they're talking about like, fuck you, maybe daddy, like he didn't do this for me, da 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 da. And then you see the little girls like, yeah, girl, you go, girl, tell him. And I'm just like, bro, that's a person. That's your partner. That's your kid's father.
You let him have a kid with you.
Right.
You're the one that made the first choice to begin with.
And again, it's everybody's life, and I have no problem. But it's just like, I don't want my daughter to grow up thinking she can just manipulate a little boy like however she wants. Like, let him know your worth, but treat him with respect. Yeah. That's just my thing.
That's true. But it is true that some women know that they're very attractive, and they know that they can get away with other stuff that other dudes can't, and they're always going to be pursued, and people are going to buy them stuff.
It's the vanity.
That too, and they know that they can get it like that, and I'm not saying it's correct.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you get that, don't turn around and be a butt towards your significant other, because you got everything you wanted now.
Exactly.
Now he's the bad guy, and you maybe not play the victim. Now you're not a victim, but you play like you are the
That's
victim.
my thing. Don't play the victim.
And the society will attack the dude.
Yep.
Because they're only going to hear your perspective because you're not the victim, even though you're the one that was cashing in everything, you know?
He's probably proud of me. I'm saying this.
I'm just saying it happens. Okay, so we're short on time now. We, real quickly, any social media, all your social media, any projects that you have or shows that you have coming up soon?
Yes. Need It Now featuring Vince B is dropping July 6th.
Nice.
That's going to be out on all platforms. That is a pop reggaeton song. I love it. You guys are going to love it. Valeria de la Paz on all social media platforms. YouTube's Valeria de la Paz Official. And yeah, EPs in the works, but just be attentive to just a one drop every single month. And
one drop every month.
That's my deal right now.
How many songs do you think you have in the vault right now? They're already unfinished.
15.
15?
Yeah, that are solid.
They're done.
Yeah, I have little drafts here and there, but 15 are solid.
Solid, done, already finished to go. That's dope. That's pretty good. That'll keep you consistent for the end of the year.
Yeah.
And the beginning, first quarter. Dope. Shout outs. Any shout outs that you have?
Shout out my mom. Love you, mom. Shout out
moms.
Shout out Kiko, KB, or Ride or Die. Shout out everybody in College Station that's been supporting me. Everyone in San Diego. You guys. My family, and just, God, the universe. I feel like I need to be more appreciative with the present and what has been happening right now. I'm a very present person. Like I love taking everything in. Right. So that then 2 weeks from now, I just appreciate this, So I'm on a spiritual journey of just really having peace within myself. So
that's
shout
dope.
out to everybody. You know who you are.
Dope. And how's the shows at College Station? Are they well?
They're just little shows. I mean, most of them are for practice for the artists that are there. We have a lot of talent in College Station. But yeah, we're trying to expand.
Yeah. But I can see the difference whenever you're performing. Whenever I see the videos of you performing, you can see the difference of other people performing, other ones that are coming up still trying to sharpen their craft, because the presence of the stage, the voice on the mic is just, you can tell. Oh my
God. My biggest thing is when people don't know how to hold the mic.
Oh, I don't.
Hold the mic.
I hold it like a rapper.
No.
All the place.
No, I know this girl that's like, da da da. I'm like, I can't hear you.
Yeah, that's true. I be doing the rapper thing. I be like all up in this. I do. Even when I'm emceeing, like I do weddings and quinceañeras, so like, and I don't know. It's just a thing for me to be able to. I feel like it blocks everything around it, and it focuses on my voice and projects.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get the feedback. Just saying. Okay, what is an important lesson that you learned about the music business or about being a musician in general that you would tell your younger self that will help somebody else out?
That's a good one. The music industry. Everyone, no matter how much they tell you they're for you, they're more for themselves. So never really lose track of yourself, like always have the best intention for yourself, but at the same time, not screwing anybody else, but with your mind with yourself in first priority, So just kind of have that understanding that people are going to be people.
Yeah.
You can trust them, you cannot. It's just 50-50, but always put yourself first.
Yeah. Some people will call it selfish, but at the end of the day, again, who else is going to look after your own interests than you? You know what I mean? If you're falling out of the Titanic and there's a life jacket, you're going to have to, why do they do whenever you're on a flight, right? When you're in a flight, what did they tell you first? Put on your freaking jacket first before you help somebody else.
Exactly. The mask on.
Come on. Take care of you and then you go help whoever you can.
Exactly.
You'll be able to help more people when you help yourself more.
Yep.
And you'll be able to reflect more on other people instead of like drowning and dying.
Yep.
Right.
Trying to do too much.
This was a little deeper. If you watch one of the episodes and you I watched all the way through, but if not, I'm going to shock you right now. So usually when I wake up or throughout the day, I say, I heard it from a guru. I'm not immortal. I am mortal, and I will die one day. And that's not to scare me or to terrify me that one day I'm going to die, but it's just a fact of life, right? We're not here for a long time. We're not here forever. And it helps me hurry up and do stuff and get things done, because at the end of the day, again, we're not here for a long time. I wish you a long, prosperous life. However, when everything's said and done at the end, what do you hope or want people to feel about your life?
That I lived it presently. Like, I lived it knowing what I wanted,
Right.
Moving with love. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Moving with love within myself. I love myself, like, not in a vanity, ego type of way. I just love who I am. There's nobody else like me. I might look like other girls, but they're not me. I'm not the little boy. I'm not, so knowing that I did it myself, knowing who I was, knowing what my purpose was as a human being
Right.
is, what I want to be remembered by.
Awesome. It's beautiful. When Carlos told me about you and I started looking into you, who you were, I mean, again, you had ran through my feed, and I saw some of the stuff, and of course I always keep a lookout, but I didn't realize how deep it was of that thing. I know that you were present. I know that it was a happening with freedom, but at the end of the day, I feel that this was preparing you for whatever it is that you have going on, because you were doing the thing. You were really doing up in stage with big crowds, little crowds, and everything. And then now with the way that you're doing music, as far as what you want to do for you, because I felt you were always going to be independent at the end of the day. Even though you were part of that, it wasn't going to be you, because you understand, based on what you said earlier, what you were supposed to be doing and the vision that you have for yourself as far as the music. And without a doubt, with your music, probably, I don't doubt, hitting it worldwide. Valeria de la Paz, you definitely are a global Latin factor. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Shout out Carlos.
This was another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Remember, we are just like you. We are human. We are the spice in this melted pot that is the world. Till next time. Bye. Thank you very much for checking out another episode of the Global Latin Factor podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. It helps us a lot. You're already here, so give us a like, give us a subscribe, and give us a comment. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Walks like a pero but in fact is a flamingo. Coming to Havana and reach from Puerto Rico. On a pirate ship, you don't know where do we go. The birds of the